Welcome to the Unlist, guys. So today I have something unusual for you. I have a brand spanking new release, and I typically don't get access to those unless I luck out and, I manage to see it at a fragrance counter and I can smell it. But I certainly don't get access to new releases before they launch. But it is August the 7th, 2023. This video will be up by the 8th. And the 8th is the launch of this fragrance, which is called Myslf by Saint Laurent. Now, I don't like talking about myself, but in this case, I have to make an exception because the fragrance is literally called Myslf. It's the worst name. Why would you name a fragrance Myslf? There are so many stupid jokes. You can be like, yeah, I smell myself all day. I'm always spraying myself, right? It's like I'm just soaked in myself, I love sniffing myself, right? It's just no. It's just, let's not do it. Let's just not do it. So here's the thing about Myslf. There's almost no fanfare regarding this fragrance, which is really bizarre. You'd think for a brand new pillar release, a men's pillar launch, there'd be a lot of hoopla. But it looks like most of the usual suspects in the YouTube community have not really tried to create a hype train for this. They haven't really attempted to do anything to get people interested in the fragrance, which is weird. Unless, the YSL brand itself has fallen so far from grace that influencers no longer see any profit in pimping out the brand. You see, one of the reasons why I recently kind of semi-half nuked my Instagram, I still have it, but I'm not doing content on it anymore, is that the whole influencer thing is becoming an increasingly self-serving, egocentric, ugly place to be. And everyone that I was running with, a couple years ago, half of them have gone full influencer mode, and they're now too big and too important. They don't have time for me. Their Sigma grind set, their hustle is so strong. They only have time for the big names and lights and stuff, and I'm basically like back there in the rearview mirror. So, you know me, I'm here for social reasons. I'm here to make friends, to have fun, to discuss things. So when I get treated like a stepping stone, I don't take kindly to that. And I kind of saw it coming, okay? I saw this coming. I try not to be a cynical person. I try not to be jaded, but, I'm like the Ben Affleck standing over the balcony with the cigarette and the bottle of Perrier, except I'm replacing the Perrier with Topo Chico. I'm like this. That's me, right? I'm kind of like expecting this to happen. And sure enough, it happened. So that's why I'm like the last person on earth who you would think would do a video about a brand spanking new designer fragrance, because I'm not the one. I'm not on the PR lists. I think the big PR guys, the big firms like Influencer, probably have like my face on a dartboard actually. And I'm sure, brands like Parfums de Marley and Bond No. 9, if they even know I exist, probably hate me too. Because I don't hold my tongue. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Some of you guys have commented that I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I do. And that gets me no love. And because I get no love, I also get no free goodies. I get no grab bags. I barely get to see behind the curtain. So when I do get to see behind the curtain, as I have in this case with this fragrance, I like to see something cool. If I get a peek behind the curtain, if I get VIP access to a thing, I want it to be worthwhile. So imagine my disappointment when I smell this brand new designer release a day before it comes out, and I'm like, yep, it's what I expected, another day at the office. All gone. So perhaps that is why the usual clown show is not trying to hype this fragrance up. It's why the usual clown show is not trying to do, big, exciting videos about new YSL men's release, the latest banger. It's because YSL is irrelevant now. The whole house has basically driven itself so far into the ground with endless flankers and endlessly unessential, unnecessary, samey smelling releases that not even the usual suspects are even interested anymore. Not even the people who make money The people who make money being interested or pretending to be interested, not even they care anymore. Like I said, there's no skin in the game for them. They don't even have a reason to try because they're like, no, if I make a video about that, no one's going to watch it. So in a way, I'm kind of the best channel to do a video about a fragrance that no one's going to like because no one's going to watch my video anyway. So it's appropriate. It's kind of fitting, right? That someone like me actually is one of the first and probably only people for a little while. They'll eventually do videos, you know, at their leisure because, like I said, there's no skin in it, so there's no reason to run out and do it. So let me tell you, what is this completely unessential, boring, you know, another hit and miss YSL commercial direct fragrance? What does it smell like? Well, honestly, it kind of smells like a softer, watered down version of like Ralph Lauren Club. It's almost like they basically took their women's release of Libre and said, we want to take Libre and we want to make it a little more butch. And then we want to like try to compete maybe a little bit, you know, in the same arena as some of the other popular fragrances, which, you know, a lot of the stuff that honestly is also under the L'Oreal umbrella. So it's really internal competition at this point. Because this smells like it's in the running alongside Ralph's Club, which Ralph Lauren is under luxury products, which is L'Oreal, and Valentino, Uomo Born in Roma, which is also under L'Oreal. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's like General Motors with Oldsmobile. Remember when Oldsmobile, Pontiac, and Buick, and they were all competing against each other? So it's like the company was kind of cannibalizing itself. That's kind of what this feels like. Like the things they're picking to compete against are other things that they own. So it's just, you know, and that's what happens when you get too big, I guess. You become too big a force in any industry. You own too much of the market. There's no one left to compete against. So you're forced to kind of cannibalize yourself. So it's kind of sad, actually, really. And I know Kering is frustrated. Kering is frustrated because Kering just bought Creed. So they see their biggest fragrance properties, YSL and Balenciaga, in the hands of other companies, and they can't do anything about it because those contracts are very long. And they were signed years ago before Kering even existed, back when it was PPR and Gucci PPR. That's when those contracts were signed. So it's like they have to wait until they run out, which is not for a long time yet, like 2030 something. So they're just stuck watching the ship basically burn. And, you know, L'Oreal is just happy to burn it down. They don't care. It's all about shareholders, right? It's all about min-maxing further gross profit margins and minimal costs, to the point where you're selling somebody an empty bottle, really. You know, you're selling them a deception, really. So that's kind of what this is. I mean, it's just a slightly retweaked Libre. And I like Libre, don't get me wrong. I thought Libre was pretty good. I mean, it's a little different. It's like a typical sweet floral fragrance, but it had some slight lavender tones in it. It was an attempt to like make a feminine fougere, sort of. But when you do that, of course, you make it kind of unisex because lavender is kind of universal in appeal. So you take something like a Glade Angel Whispers style, like rose peony candle, and then stuff some lavender in it and a little bit of orange blossom, and that's suddenly unisex territory. Everyone likes that. So I was like, yeah, Libre is kind of like everyone's going to like this. And I was right. Everyone does like it. This, however, is like, well, you know, there are some guys who aren't going to wear that because it says, you know, it's a fragrance for women. So it's another one of those, well, let's make a for him version, right? So they take that basic formula, that really sort of fake, sweet, bubblegummy kind of orange blossom, and then they shove a little bit of nondescript synthetic floral fruity notes, like there's pomerose in here, there's some damascenones in here, there's, I think they're the beta or gamma ionones, whatever the fruity ones are, the fruity woody ones are. And then there's patchouli in here. There's definitely some ambrox and some kind of woody amber material in here. I think Ambrofix was the material that was name dropped by the market copy, which is very hard to find market copy for this, by the way, which I'll get to that in a second. But in general, it's just another one of those, opens up sweet, fruity, fresh, and then dries down to a nondescript kind of patchouli, woody, amber, musky blob, right? So you've smelled this a million times already. Whether it's got a Paco Rabanne name on the bottle, or it's got a Valentino name on the bottle, or it's got some other brand, Zara could have done this. Just about anybody under the sun could have done this. So Christophe Reynaud is the actual perfumer, and he does some pretty good work. So I mean, this was a paycheck. I don't besmirch the perfumer here. The perfumer is given this much budget, this much time. They are doing a job, right? So it was a paycheck. So I'm not mad at you, bro. Not your fault. It was a paycheck. It is what it is. Now the market copy, as I kind of alluded to earlier, right? That you know, there's the usual clown show has not really done any kind of hyping of this, and YSL themselves have also not really done any real attempt to get people to know about this. Like they have no advertisements, nothing. Like there are only two places I have found any information about this fragrance, and one of them is Now Smell This. They did an article back in July 1st announcing the fragrance. That's how I found out who the perfumer was, by the way. And then the other place is the YSL Beauty website in the UAE, which is really bizarre, because a fragrance like this, the UAE is kind of the last place, especially for being a men's market release. This is not the kind of thing that guys in the Middle East want to wear, trust me. You know, I've worn enough of their stuff, I know. This is definitely typical Chad bro, clubber, club banger, douchebag in the Audi, you know, buys all his clothes from you know, some place like Oakley or something or whatever. I don't know, Hollister, wherever they buy their clothes. Jesus Christ, I don't fucking know. I don't hang out with this kind of people. So, but that whole bruh, duh, you know, that whole thing, that's the kind of jerkwad that's going to wear this. So, you know, and it's just, I don't know, man. Don't got much to say. It's almost like they don't even want to advertise the fragrance themselves because they know how boring and forgettable it is. They just want to drop it on counters and then, like, you know, let God sort them out. That's pretty bad. That's not a real strong vote of confidence for me when we are like literally at launch day and there are no ads anywhere, nothing. And I have to get my information from an Arabian version of a website by using a VPN, because if you try to go to the YSL Beauty UAE website, it notices your IP and it redirects you to the wherever you're from, and then the page won't be there, so you get nothing. So that's just really weird. They don't want no one to know about this until like the day of. Are they trying to surprise people? Surprise! Forgettable fragrance. Here you go. Surprise. Oh wow, look, it's another, what is this? It's like you sniff it and you're like, is this another Y? Is this another Loam? Is this another La Nuit fragrance? What is this? Like, is this, it's a something. It's a YSL something. I don't know what it is, you know? Honestly, they should have called it something. They should have called it YSL something, because that would have been a better name than myself. Oh, I'm smelling myself. Really? So yeah, guys, that's about all I have for you. And I know those of you who have already kind of like tuned out, again, you know, you have one more reason to not care. And if you watched this video this far, you know I clearly don't care. Once this goes in the trash, it's gone. It's like this. You know, I'll be reminded of it, I'm sure. But, you know, it just... it's just further proof that caring needs to get like YSL back under their wing. They need to take control back of the house, you know. So they bought Creed as a showing of strength against LVMH, right? The gauntlet has been thrown down. So, you know, now the next thing they need to do is they need to get these contracts. They need to get Balenciaga back. They need to get YSL back, and they need to like right the ship, right? Because before long, it's going to be pointless. You know, YSL is going to go the way of Worth and other houses that are basically dead because no one cares anymore. So it's going to go that way. So that's it, guys. Not a very long video this time around. It's Myslf by Yves Saint Laurent. And it's another boring, forgettable, sweet, floral, fruity, fresh, musky, woody amber, Glade plugins, air freshener, scented candle kind of thing that just, you know, the only kind of person who's going to wear this is the person who just doesn't care and needs a fragrance, which I guess that's the kind of market they're banking on at this point, is they're banking on all the impulse buy people who don't really care, all the duty-free places, stuff like that, travelers, whatever, people who just need to smell like something other than armpits, you know, assuming they don't wear deodorant. So that's the only market really left for brands like this. So everything else YSL had that was worth a damn is gone. So, you know, they've basically taken their entire history and thrown it away. You know, it's crazy. That's almost like, imagine if Chanel did that. No more number 5, no more number 19, no more Paul Monsieur, no more Antaeus, no more Coco. All those are gone now. You know, all you get is Bleu de Chanel and the latest Gabrielle or something. That's it. The rest of it's all gone. Imagine if Chanel did that. They would implode. They would literally implode if they did that. But, you know, that's what YSL did. All right, guys, this has been the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it seemed kind of pessimistic, but this is what you get when you hand someone like me a fragrance like this. So you get the honest truth. This is my genuine reaction to this fragrance, you know. There's no faking it. So take that for what it's worth, and hope you guys have a good one.